Hello guys, in this video we're going to talk about the MCs in our second term exams. So for the first questions, we have to factorize this one. So we have this is equal to, for the front part, it's the left squared minus the right squared, isn't it? So we have the x minus y times x plus y. And then for the right part, we can take out our negative. So when you take out the negative, we write the negative here. After you take out the negative, you give it a bracket, isn't it? So you can put the x and the y. But remember, as you take out the negative, so you need to change the middle sign to be negative as well. So we have this is x minus y as well. So let's look at this part. So from the left parts and the right parts, they have the same thing, which is x minus 1, isn't it? So now we can take out the x minus 1, x minus y. So this is going to be giving you x minus y, and then you take out some things, so you give another bracket. So the x minus y on the left hand side is being taken out, so what we left is x plus y. But seems like on the right hand side there's nothing, but still you can say this times 1 here, isn't it? So times the 1. So as the x minus 1 is gone, then the thing we left just minus the 1. So x plus y minus 1 is the final answer. Okay, so for the next part, you can see this is the 16. So 16 we can actually write it as 2 to the power of 4. You can use your calculator to double check it. And then for the 8, you can write it as 2 to the power of 3. So the whole question is going to be changed to 2 to the power of 4, and then the whole thing to the power of 2n minus 3. And then we divide it by the 8 is being changed to 2 to the power of 3. So 2 to the power of 3 of n plus 2, but outside we still have a power of 2. So a power of a power, so power outside a bracket, you can times the power together, so it's times. So times the power together, which is 2. So using the 4 times 2n minus the 4 times 3. So this one is going to be giving you 8n minus 4 times 3, giving you 12. And then we divide it by, so in the inner parts, still have a power for power, so we distribute the times. So it becomes 2 to the power of 3n plus 6. But remember, there's still a power of 2 outside, so we bracket again. So we do the denominator part. A power of a power can times them together. So 2 times 3n plus 2 times 6. So it's 2 to the power of 6n plus 12. And then the numerator, just copy that down, 2n minus 12. So now you can say, because we have the same base, they're dividing each other. So it's going to be minus the powers. So now we have 2 to the power of 8n minus 12. And then minus the power on the denominator, but minus as a whole thing, so we give a bracket here as we minus the whole thing, isn't it? So now we can set this is equal to 2 to the power of 8n minus 12. I try to expand the bracket, so I have to change the middle sign and remove the bracket, so minus 6n and then minus the 12. So simplify this part, 8n minus 6n will give you 2n, so it's going to be 2 to the power of 2n minus 24. Okay, so that's for question 2. So for question 3 is going to be the change of subject. So you make x be the subject. So when you see two fractions, we not really know how to do it. So you try to use the cross multiply, means you move the d to the left, you move the c to the right. So we can say this is equal to d times x minus y equal to c times x plus 1. So I say again, so the d, you're moving the d to the left hand side, and moving the d to the right hand side. So when moving it divided by d, it's going to becomes d times the things. And for this divided by c, moving to the right, becomes c times it. So you have a bracket here, you try to expand the bracket, same for the right hand side. So we have d times x giving you dx, d times negative 1 giving you minus d. Similar for the right hand side, c times x giving you cx, c times 1 giving you c. So now we have cx plus c. As we want the x to be the subject, so we have to move all of the x to the left hand side. So we have the dx minus the cx, because originally this is a plus, move it to the left hand side becomes minus. And then the d here don't have any x, so move it back to the right hand side. So negative d to the right becomes plus. So now it becomes c plus d. Alright, so now for the left hand part, we have the x as a common factor. We can take it out, the x. So for dx, you take out the x, so what we left just the d. And then you take out the x, so what we left just minus the c. Okay, and we have c plus d on the right hand side. And for this part, you don't want a d minus c, you move it to the right hand side. So we have, using the c plus d, the whole thing, divided by this d minus c, divided by d minus c. So that's how you change the subject. Okay, so moving to the next part, the question 4. We have this something equal to 40 together with 40 equal to something. So we can actually separate it into two equations, which is 6a minus 7b equal to 40, and then 2a plus 11b equal to 40. So you can, looks like this. This is actually the simultaneous equations in true or no. So why not just use the program 1 to solve this? So program 1, you need to enter in which is 6, negative 7, and 40. 6, negative 7, and 40. And then for the second row, we have 2, 11, and 40. So press in 2, 11, together with 40. So the calculator is going to giving you the A. The first answer here is going to be equal to 9. And then the B is going to be giving you 2. So the B is just equal to 2. So move to the next questions, the percentage. So we have the mark price. The mark price is 60% above the cost, and a profit of 104 made by selling the phone at a discount of 25%. So how can we gonna do this? As we're gonna find the cost, isn't it? So you draw the timeline. We have the cost, then we have the mark price, then the last one is our selling price, isn't it? So we take the cost as the x. And then they're saying that the mark price is going to be 60% above. So it's going to be times the 1.6, or the 1.6 comes from 1 plus the 60%, because it's above, it's going to be plus. So now it times 1 plus 60%. So x times 1 plus 60% will give you the mark price is going to be equal to 1.6x. And then a profit is 104. So the profit is actually comparing about the cost together with the selling price, isn't it? So now we have this is going to be profit. So profit is going to be plus the 104. And then we have a discount. So this discount is counting from is calculating by using the mark price together with the selling price. So discount is starting from the mark price, isn't it? So mark price, we want to times 1 minus 25%, then we can have our selling price. So the selling price is going to be using the mark price times 0.75, because 1 minus 25% giving you 0.75. So we have this is 1.6x times 0.75. And then as the x plus the $104 is going to be giving you the selling price. So now we can set up an equations, which is x plus 104 is equal to 1.6x, and then we times 0.75. So use your calculator to finish it. So for this part, it's going to be equal to 1.2x is giving you 104, so that the x is equal to 104 divided by 1.2, giving you 86 and 2/3. Okay. So now moving to the inequality. So for this part is the composite. So 3 things together. So please bear in mind, if we have something like we can say that the 1 is smaller than 2, smaller than 3. So actually we can separate into 3 things. We have 1 smaller than 2, or 2 smaller than 3. But together we can say that 1 is also smaller than 3 as well, isn't it? So similar for these questions, we can separate it into 3 inequalities. So first of all, we have 2y minus 3 smaller than 3y plus 4. And then I have this one is done. So now we need to try to do this part. So we have 3y plus 4 smaller or equal to 13. But that is not the end. So we can compare about this 2. So we have 2y minus 3 smaller or equal to 13. So now we can solve these three equations separately. So 2y minus 3y, giving you negative y smaller than the one, the negative 3 moving to the right becomes 7. So 4 plus 3 giving you 7. And then now I need to divide negative, so I need to change the sign. Becomes greater than. So the first answer is going to be y is greater than negative 7. And for the second one, we have 3y smaller or equal to 9. I don't want the plus 4, move it to the right, it becomes minus. And this time I don't want the 3, so I divide it by 3. So I have the y smaller or equal to 3. So for the last one, we don't want the negative 3, move it to the right, becomes 2y smaller or equal to 16. And also we also have y is going to be smaller or equal to 8. Okay, so now I got these three answers. Now how can we know that what is the final answer? So because they're all they can actually satisfy these three equations, so now we can try to combine them. So what you're gonna have, so for this one, it's gonna be y is greater than negative 7, which means we can draw something like this. Y is greater than negative 7, but the y is also smaller or equal to 3. Smaller or equal to 3. This is 3, but y is also smaller or equal to 8. This is going to be 8. So as all of them need to be satisfied, so in common, just this part. So the answer is going to be negative 7 is smaller than x, but this is the whole circle, is smaller or equal to 3. Okay, so that's for question 6. The harder part is you need to separate it into 3 different inequalities, and then you solve for them. So question 7, we have the x is varies directly as the square root of y, and the inverse as z. So we have the x is varies directly as the square root of y, and then inversely means divide, isn't it? And then inversely as z. Okay? So now we can check them one by one. If we have something variations, we can just write it into x is equal to k square root y divided by z. So let's consider about the first one, they are calculating the x squared. So we make it the square, so x squared is going to be equal to k squared y divided by z squared. So let's see, x squared is varies directly as y, which is correct, and then inversely as the square of z. So the first one is going to be correct. And then we can try to do the second one. The y is actually varies directly, so we make the y to be the subject. So we make the y to be the subject. So now we have the square root y is equal to xz divided by k, but we need to square this, so the y is equal to 1 over k squared times x squared times z squared. So let's see the expression here is directly as z and inversely as the square root of x, which is not correct, because you can see that it's actually proportional to the x squared and z squared. So the second one is wrong. Now we can try to do the third one. So the third one, we have the z is varies about something, so we make the z to becomes the subject. So I just swap the x and z. So I have the z is equal to k square root y divided by x. So now we can say that the z is directly proportional to the square root of y, which is correct, and inversely as x. Inverse just divide, so divided by x. So number 3 is correct as well. It's going to be the first one, and the third one is going to be correct. So for question 8 is a circle, and then for this one, you can think about it like this. So this is a quadrilateral, isn't it? So in the quadrilaterals, the opposite angles adding up is giving you 180, together with the external of the quadrilaterals. So these two things is actually the same thing. So if you want to find out what is ABC, this is ABC. It's actually the AOC is doubled of the angle at the circumference, isn't it? So the angle at the center is going to be double angle at the circumference. So now we can say that the angle of AOC is equal to the double of angle of ABC. So that the angle of ABC just equal to x plus 40 divided by 2, giving you x divided by 2 plus 20. So now I got this angle. This is actually the exterior angle of the quadrilaterals. So these two angles should be the same. So now we can say the x over 2 plus 20 equal to x minus 30. So I can say x over 2 is equal to 50, so that we have the x is equal to 100 degrees. Okay, so move to the next questions, the question 9. So there's a lot of dots, and then they're just asking to find a number of dots for the 6th pattern. So you can see from here, just count the notes. There's 1, 2, 4. For the next one is plus 3, so it's going to be 7. So you can discover that this part is plus 1, this part is plus 2, next one is plus 3. So now we have the 4th number. So the 5th number is plus 4, which is 11, and then plus another 5, giving you 16. And the final answer is going to be giving 16. So for question 10, the general term of an arithmetic sequence. So arithmetic sequence just means they have the same difference. Okay, and the general term is giving you 2n plus 3. And they're asking about the sum of the first 15 terms. So as we have to do this by using the formula, Sn is equal to 2a plus n minus 1d, and then we times the number of numbers, which is 15, and then divide by 2. So the a is actually the first term, isn't it? So the first term is just equal to t1. So a is actually equal to t1, which means you substitute the 1 to be here. So we have 2 times, you substitute the 1 here, 2 times 1 give you 2, 2 plus 3 give you 5. And then we can plus the n minus 1. The n is going to be 15. So 15 minus 1 divided by the difference. So what is going to be the difference? So the difference can be calculating by using the second term minus the first term, isn't it? So now we can say the second term is going to be equal to 2 times 2 plus 3. So that's going to be 2 times 2 plus 3, giving you 7. So it's comparable with the second term and the first term. It's going to be equal to 7 minus 5, which is equal to 2. Okay, so the difference is going to be equal to 2. And we can times the difference. The difference times here, and then we times how many numbers is it? There's 15 numbers, and then we divide by 2. Now using a calculator, you can get this is equal to 14 times 2, giving you 28. This 2 giving you 10, plus together give you 38 divided by 2, which is 19. So the final answer is 19 times 15, giving you 285. So the next one, the geometric sequence means they have the same ratio. Now you can calculate the ratio by using the letter divided by the first one. So the ratio is equal to 1, 2, 8 divided by 2, 5, 6 is equal to 1 over 2. So all of the rest is the same. So you need to remember what is the sum of infinity, which is going to be the a, the first term, over the 1 minus r. So that's going to be equal to, the first term is going to be 256, and that divided by 1 minus r. So the r just giving you 1 over 2. You use your calculator, you can get 512 as your final answer. So let's talk about question 12. The coordinates of the point of CD is going to be -3 and 1, 1 and -3. So P is a moving point such that CP is going to be equal to CD. Okay, so CD is actually something you know. P is the unknown, so there's only one fixed point actually. So now we have this is C, and then this is B, and then this is D. So actually we just want to say that the CP is going to be equal to CD. So maybe D is not here, maybe something around here. It's actually just a length, isn't it? So the distance between C and D, you can calculate it. So you can calculate the CD by using the distance formula, x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This one will giving you, so 1 minus 3, 1 minus 3 squared, plus 1 minus 3 squared. So this is going to be giving you 4 squared plus 4 squared, which is 32. So it's going to be the square root of 32. So that's going to be the difference. And now we can say that a CP, so what is going to be P? So we can let the P be xy. And we have the C. The C is equal to -3 and 1. So that we can use in the distance formula again. So we have x plus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared equal to square root 32. So you can say x squared plus 6x plus 9 plus y squared plus 2y plus 4. Sorry, plus 1 is equal to the square root of 32 squared. So just equal to 32, and moving all of them to the same side. So we have x squared plus y squared plus 6x minus 2y plus 9 plus 1 minus 32. 9 plus 1 minus 32, giving you negative 22. And then set is equal to 0. So for the next part, the 13 we need to determine whether the a and b is greater than 0 or smaller than 0. So first of all, the a, b, the in general form is quite hard to think about, so you can change it into the point slope form. So we have the by, so you make the y to be the subject. So now we have by equal to negative ax plus 3 divided by b, so y is going to be equal to negative a over bx plus 3 over b. So if you still remember the negative, the number in front of x is going to be our m, and then the numbers after that is going to be the y-intercept. So from here we know that this is the y-intercept, this is the y-intercept, and then the slope is going to be positive. So that we can say that 3 over b is going to be smaller than 0, which means if you have divided by something is positive, the whole thing is never going to be positive. So the b must be a negative number. So this is going to be a negative. So that we can say the b is going to be a negative numbers. So let's talk about a slope. So from the slope we can know that it's a positive, so the slope is going to be negative a over b. So negative a over b is going to be greater than 0 because this is the slope, and then you can see from here it's actually going up, so it's going to be positive. So now there's a negative, I divided to the right, so I need to change the sign. So I have a over b is smaller than 0. And now I just want to find out what is a, isn't it? So now we need to satisfy the b, move it to the right. But bear in mind, even that there's no negative numbers, but however b is actually smaller than 0, so when you times the negative numbers, you have to change the sign as well. So now we have the a is greater than 0 as well. So all in all, the question is going to be equal to C. The a is greater than 0 and the b is smaller than 0. Alright, so 3 more questions. So the straight line, this is the general form, and I cut the x-axis and y-axis at a and b. Now we can just change it to becomes y equal to mx plus c. So 4y equal to 5x minus 40, so that the y is equal to 5 over 4x minus 10. So the minus 10 is actually just the y-intercept. Okay, so the y-intercept is equal to negative 10. It's going to be the negative 10. And then we can find out what is the x-intercept. So x-intercept means that at that point the y is equal to 0. So I set y to 0, which means that I set the y is equal to 0, which means that 5x equal to 40. So that x just equal to 8. So now I got what is 8, what is the x-intercept, and what is the y-intercept. So in this question, you can draw the pictures. It's going to be looks like this. It's going to be look like this. So this is the negative 10, and then this is going to be the 8. So the whole line here is going to be 5x minus 4y minus 40 equal to 0. So the area of OAB, so OAB. So this is 8, this is 10, this is 90 degrees. So that the area just equal to 8 squared plus 10 squared. Take the square root, and this one giving you 6. So now we got the, sorry, I'm not going to calculate the distance between AB as opposed to calculate area. So now the area is just equal to the length, which is 8, times the height, which is 10. So 8 times 10 divided by 2. So that's going to giving you 40. Okay, so for question 15, the equation of a tangent, this is quite hard question, so we need to do a lot of calculations on it. So the equation of tangent at the point on this point. So for the equation of tangent, we have to first of all we have circle, and this is the point that we need to find out what is the equation of tangent here. So first of all, we need to find out what is the center, and the second step is going to be find out the radius slope. And then as these two lines, the tangent is perpendicular to the radius, and now we have the slope of the straight line together with the contact point. The contact point is going to be 3, negative 9. So now we find out what is the the center, so the center just equal to the d divided by 2, and this one is divided by 2 as well. So we have the hk is going to be equal to negative d over 2, negative d over 2 together with negative e over 2. So it's 4 divided by negative 2, giving you negative 2, and then negative 6 divided by negative 2 is going to be giving you a 3. So now I have the coordinates of hk, so that I can calculate what is the slope between the g, the center, together with the p point. Okay, so the slope of gp is going to be equal to the change of y divided by change of x, so which is 3 minus 9 divided by the negative 2 minus the 3. Negative 2 minus the 3. So this is going to be giving you negative 12, because 3 minus the minus giving you positive. So negative 12 over negative 5. Sorry, this should be a positive here. So 3 plus 9 giving me 12, and then divided by negative 5. Okay, so that the tangent equation, the tangent slope, is going to be equal to, you swap upside down, which is 5 over 12, and then negative to negative, so this is going to be a positive now. So now I have the tangent of the slope, the tangent slopes. So now we just need to using the slope and then using a point which is passed through to find our formulas. So now we have the y plus 9 divided by x minus 3 is giving you 5 over 12. So this is the point slope form, isn't it? So you can using the points together with slope to get your final answer. Then what we're gonna do is to separate the fractions. So again, there's the fractions, I don't know how to do it, but I want to make them y to be the subjects. So I just need to move the 12 to the left hand side and move the x minus 3 to the right hand side. Now we have the 12y minus 9 times 12 should be 81. I'm sorry, so it's going to be 108. It's going to be equal to, using the 5 times x minus 3, so that's going to be 5x minus 15. So now I can just leave it all of them to the left hand side because they didn't require for a center radius form. Just moving all of the things, so it's going to be negative 5x plus 12y plus 1, 2, 3. It's going to be equal to 0. Okay, so that's for question 15. Okay, so for the last one is the hardest one. So now we have the circle like this, and a straight line intersect at only one point. So the intersection only one point means the delta is going to be equal to 0. Okay, so now I just move the y to become the subject. So y is equal to the negative x minus 4. So that we have the x squared plus negative x minus 4 squared plus 2x minus the 6. Sorry. So that's going to be the 2x. So plus the 2x and then minus the 6 times the y. The y is going to be negative x minus 4. And then plus the k is equal to 0. So now I can expand the brackets. So I have the x squared plus x squared plus 8x plus 16 plus 2x. This is a negative times negative, so giving you plus 6x. Again, negative of negative, positive. So plus 24 equal to k equal to 0. So now we can group of the x squared together with the x and the numbers. Now we have 2x squared plus, this is 8 plus 2 giving you 10, 10 plus 6 giving you 16. So plus 16x, which is going to be equal to 16 plus 24 plus the k. So plus 40 plus k equal to 0. So now we can say that's because at only one intersection, so that's going to be the delta should be equal to b squared minus 4ac equal to 0. So now I have the b squared, which is 16 squared, minus 4 times 2 times 40 plus k is equal to 0. So now I have the 256 minus, or I just move the whole thing to the right hand side, so this becomes positive. So I have 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 give you 320. Double check 4 times 2 times 40, 320, and then plus 8k, so that the k just equal to 256 divided by 360. 256 minus 320 divided by 8. So now you get a k is equal to -8. So please finish the whole thing during the weekend and make sure you understand all of the questions. If you have any questions, just ask me when you're free. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.